All I know, the finest of cloth is what I cut from. If you not fit to be king, don't grow accustomed to this shit, cause it won't suit you. Champion number one, I wish I could tell you you was number two. Let's get it, let's get it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you taking up the time, man. I know you're a busy man.
For sure. What's poppin' with you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
First time in Tampa in like a couple years, so we're here.
Hey, man.
Last time I came through here, I was with Dream Dog.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So you're making a lot of moves out here. First of all, congratulations on the documentary that's coming out.
Yeah. It's, I felt weird at first doing the doc because I ain't never really opened up. I'm not really I'm a public person, but not a public person. But it was my first time telling my story fully, and I think people gonna like it.
That's what's up. Now, what was the deciding factor that made you actually want to go ahead and go through with it?
It was just really like a lot of good energy that's been going on with me over the last 3 or 4 years, and a lot of decisions, and like good decisions being made. So, but I wanted to tell like the past story of what got me to where I am today, and then hopefully just for like the next wave, the next generation, it could help inspire like the future business people in the music industry.
Now, we know you've worked with a bunch of different artists. I know you wouldn't necessarily have like maybe a favorite, but what would you say would be like one of your favorite moments that you remember? It could be recently or just period, just working with different artists.
What time era you want? I got a lot of.
Let's just go with the last decade that just passed. The last decade we just got finished with.
You said what was like a great moment?
A very high, one of the highest points that you can remember.
Shit, December, I had dinner with Kevin Lyles and a whole bunch of executives to end the year. It was a kind of like a monumental moment because it was kind of like announcing like my grooming to be an executive, and just moving from one department to another. And I just think like like last year was a lot of success stories with like YK Osiris, with Megan Thee Stallion. Young Thug had his biggest year as a solo artist. And then I had launched my own imprint, Capital Structure, and I just did a deal. So, we're here.
That's what's up, man. Now, what would you say to the tons of artists that are out here? They want to make it. They're doing everything that they can, or they think they're doing everything that they can. What would you say to these artists out here that's just, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to turn, they don't know where to start, they feel like they got talent?
I think like having a mentor and then asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I started asking the right questions that help me move from one side of the industry to another side of the industry. But just asking the right questions of what they can do, and then even when you think you're working, probably double it up. Put that much more energy into it, and then you'll probably start seeing the results, because now you have to compete with like people whose work ethic is 10 hours a day, and 8 hours a day, and 12 hours a day, and 16 hours a day, and that's how they be successful. So you gotta match that.
Word. All right, now I'm gonna ask you the LeBron question, if you will.
Okay.
Is there any?
He's the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. Is that Cleveland bias? Because I got a lot of Cleveland bias.
I mean, I'm from Chicago, so
you know what I'm saying.
But I think he's the greatest of all time. I've seen Jordan play. I've seen Kobe.
Damn, no, that's a hell of a statement. Yeah. Now I know you spent a lot of time in Cleveland. That didn't sway your decision at all. You worked a lot of down there. And...
He went to Miami. He went here in LA. He's still the best player. So what you want me to say?
All right, now sticking with that for a second, is it any added pressure when you're working with a company as historic as Def Jam?
Of course, it's just really just upholding the legacy and making sure you do right by the name, and then you just want to make sure it stays in that historic mold, and now it's just bringing new talent onto it.
Okay. All right, so I know you got the documentary coming up, so we go save a lot for that. We not go tell everybody the whole story and everything. But what's coming up next, man? We got the Streets Most Wanted tour.
Streets Most Wanted tour starts February 13th in Chicago. I'm in Grand Rapids Then we're in Chicago for All-Star Weekend. It's going to go on for like 10 more cities after that. And then I got a West Coast version of the tour. We got South by Southwest. We got a Midwest Monster Showcase. On the Nerve DJ side, I'm the VP of the Nerve DJ. So we just did a partnership with Dash Radio, with hip hop since 1987, with Pandora, and just a whole bunch of different platforms that we can have just to showcase our DJs, and then showcase and just break new music. And then other than that, it's just really getting, like I said, just getting the label off the ground, finding some new partnerships and working on some sponsorship deals and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. So just a couple more before we get up out of here. We know Osiris is definitely out here doing his thing. We see Cash Doll out here doing her thing. I know you work with Megan. She out here killing it. Anybody that's coming up next through the door that we need to know about right now?
Be on the lookout for Ty Bree, YFL Kelvin, Doughboy, Q Money, Love Foe, another artist. He's an artist from Chicago. Man, it's a lot. It's a whole different wave of, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the next people for next year already, so it's just really, but Dream Doll's I think she's gonna have a big year this year. Who else is it? Icewear Vezo is one of my favorite street artists coming out of the Midwest, and you know, it's a lot of young talent that's coming up, so I'm on it. I'm on it right now.
So do you think we've headed in a good direction, hip hop? Are we healthy right now?
It's definitely healthy because you got like the old school lyrical stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and content driven stuff, and then you got visual artists and like sing some popular stuff too. So it's like whatever direction you listen to and that you want is something out here for you. So you just gotta get into it and support these artists and run them streams up.
All right, man. So, is there anything that you look for in an artist when you grab a new talent?
I just love the story of an artist. Like if they got a real authentic story, I think that makes a difference. Like, you know, dealing with like an artist from Pittsburgh like Hardo, or even like Trouble from Atlanta. Like he had a real unique story when we was on the road last year. And creativity, just, you know, seeing how interactive they are in that studio, and then once they're on the road telling that story. So, you know, those two defining factors for me. Like, you really got to be out here, you got to really be pursuing it, you got to be hungry, and you got to want to win, and you got to want to listen too. So that's another thing. Like, so a lot of artists think that they know everything, but they don't. And, you know, you got to believe in your team like your team believe in you.
Word. So before we get up out of here, how can they reach you? What's the platforms that we can find you on?
On IG, if you like to see it in the picture or the video format, it's Big Heff Midwest Fresh. I believe in the Midwest real heavy. If Twitter, BIGHEFF, you know, I'm here. They can contact you. We tapped in.
You already know. There you have it, Big Heff. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Midwest, stand up.
Good for my melanin, my black skin, soak it in. Born king, dripping with gold, I get it in.